Today, I'm gonna go into some of my pros and cons of being a business owner in 2023. Hey, if you don't know me, I'm Zach, where every Tuesdays and Thursdays, we help you build that legacy brand beyond the game. So let's jump right into it. The one on everyone's mind when becoming a business owner: financial reward. There's definitely a huge pro when it comes to the financial reward that comes through being a business owner. But I'm gonna change this up a little bit. It's not really the financial reward that you get out of building your own brand. It really comes down to that grit and journey to building that financial reward. It does take a lot of hard work. You're gonna be wearing multiple hats for a while to make it to that level that you want, depending on what success will look like for you. And as you continue to build that financial reward, if you think in a fearful mindset of, I just need to make it to 1 million, I just need to make it to 2 million, I need to prove myself, you will get to a point, I promise you, that will become more of a con. You will lose your purpose, you will lose your why. I've been there. I'll be honest, I've been in that situation before. So you really need to focus on switching your mindset, really starting to think about not just really the financial aspects of it, but thinking smart, not living in a fearful mindset, so to say. Financial reward is definitely a big pro. You just have to keep at it, keep pushing, and keep working your butt off to build that grit. Second pro, lifestyle independence. Now, this is a huge one because a lot of business owners and brands get stuck in the mentality of working 80-hour weeks. I'm not for it. I've never thought that working 80-hour weeks is going to be good for the impact of anyone, not just from a business growth perspective, but from a personal growth perspective. It could cause a lot of burnout. I highly recommend starting to get to the point where you're starting to schedule out your day and really starting to work on your internal team and what that's going to look like. Even if you're not to the point where you know what that internal team is going to look like, that's part of your vision. Where do you want this internal team to be in, let's say, 10 years? And work at it very slowly. Enjoy the journey. But in the meantime, I want you to really allow yourself set breaks. Once a month, I will take a day off of work and I will go out, meditate, sit down under a tree, just with my journal or my music, write stuff down and just enjoy everything. And I do this on purpose because it helps me wind down my anxious mind when it comes to all of the thoughts going through my head as a business owner and as a visionary. Another pro is how much personal development and growth is involved with growing a business. You will realize that you learn so much more in growing a business and growing a brand in the first year that you may never have in the corporate world. So if you're just starting out, leverage that. I have 2 young children, very young children. And so I have started, my mindset has started to shift just from that opportunity and that great gift of having those 2 children. But when it comes to growing as a person, I'm a very big preacher of growing a brand helps you grow yourself. And time again, I've seen business owners, including myself, be at a point where I was holding the business back due to limiting beliefs, due to certain things, and I'm always challenged with some of that stuff. But knowing that I'm going to continue to thrive, to grow as a person, provide the best products and services I can for my clients, be able to provide and be a leader to those that might not be as financially off as I am at this point in my life, I will say that it's a gift. It's a gift to be where I'm at. It's a gift to be where you're at, and to be able to start from scratch and to develop something new and exciting, and really enjoy that journey from the get-go. I still look back sometimes and think about how great it would be to open this business or open that business. And maybe one day we will do that as an agency. But for now, I'm really just enjoying the journey and enjoying the time I have with my family alongside with that journey. What are the chances of really building wealth as a brand? Well, long story short, it's not as easy as everyone thinks. I've preached just this a million times. You're not going to make $1 million overnight. If you made $1 million overnight, everyone would make $1 million overnight, which means $10 million would be the next phase, and then 20 million, and now $1 billion. So what I have to say around that is you just have to be smart. And I mean, you could look at what Dave Ramsey says. You can look at what Graham Stephan says. You can look at some of these other higher known YouTube stars or, athletes out there. And the ones that are usually wealthy are the ones that look at success from a different perspective. Wealth can grow slowly, and that's how I've always looked at it. So don't be that 10%. Don't be that 90%. Be that 10% that looks back on wealth as something as an achievable and ongoing perspective with the growth of who you are as a person, the wisdom you take, the failures you take, and keep improving and moving forward. Another pro, building strong relationships with partners, employees, and customers. There's so much money in this world that to me, I only like to bring on clients that follow the same driven path that I do. We love working with athletic driven brands, people that want to showcase their purpose to the world within the athletic e-com space, the big box gym space, and et cetera, et cetera. And we really want to help individuals within this spectrum be able to give their purpose, their why. That's where my heart derives. Same with my partners. We only bring on partners that follow that same perspective and bring on employees that bring that. There's so much learning that's going to be involved with you building that culture internally, building that culture with your customers that you don't even realize yet. But it is there. But it's such a pro. You start to meet people that you never thought you would have met before. You start helping people that you never thought you would have in the past. And it's a great feeling to build a network of like-minded individuals that you can build something great together. Again, I want to make sure you tackle that subscribe button, give us a like, and hit that notification bell. It really helps out the channel. Now, let's look at some of those cons. First off, back to finances. There's a lot of financial risk in building a brand. A lot of that risk you have to look at a positive and negative here. If you're spending more money towards something, there should be less risk. So make sure that when you're learning and you're growing, don't get desperate. Look for financial situations within the business that could really help, and take your time with those investments when it comes to employees, when it comes to hiring vendors, when it comes to bringing on partners, even when it comes on to bringing customers. Financial risk is much more than just paying the bills. You have to think about longevity. Yes, when you're just starting out, I would say you're going to have a lot more risk. If it's your first business, I highly recommend saving like 30 grand, 30 or 40 grand before you start. Use that as your yearly income, and build a separate account for the business that you can start growing up slowly. That's what I did when I left the corporate world. I made sure I had 5 years of savings under my belt that averaged out to about 30 to 40 grand that I used to kind of build my business. And at this point in time, I could say I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's a great feeling to have, but there's still a lot of financial risks that I have to take on. They're just higher level risks. Stress and health issues always come up. That's why I really recommend your personal growth and development and working on your stress. I have a business coach. I have a motivational coach. I have a business group that I work with on a reoccurring basis. I have a lot of these people that are in my corner that help me. Your upper management can be in that corner with you as well. Once you get to a higher level and start building upper management, your wife or your significant other, your husband, they can help you with some of this stress that is involved, and letting them know it is a different feeling inside. A lot of people, it's hard to talk to about this stuff, and so find certain people that are willing to listen and allow yourself to talk about these woes with these people, because you are going to get to a point where you need this stuff. If you have any stresses in your life and you need some help as a business owner, 100% write a comment down below. And I'm no health professional. I'm not going to say I am, but I can definitely try to help you through some practices that can help make it to that next step. Building a business is a journey. It's not an overnight thing to success, and success isn't what you think it is. I promise you, come back to me in 5 years and you will tell me I'm right. There's going to be a huge time commitment to growing a successful business. You will hear about companies that do it overnight. It does happen with some of those great ideas, but you also really have to think about how business works. You could come in with a large investment, though you'll have a lot of debt to pay off, and that's where some of that stress could come in. You're going to be dealing a lot with, especially at the beginning, not just providing the services, but finding your clients, down to keeping your clients, keeping your employees. Those are the 4 biggest things I'd worry about during your time commitment. Logging work hours. I highly recommend this even for business owners. It's a very big con, because I've always been myself a chaotic organizer, and I'm starting to be a lot more organized with dedicating certain time out for certain things. And logging work hours helps me really determine how long certain things are taking for me, so that I can have a recommended set of hours that I think it will take an internal employee. We track time with all of our employees, but we don't do it because we're micromanaging what they're doing. We're doing it because we need to become more efficient with certain things, and seeing how long certain things take as we develop products and services and things of that nature. So I highly recommend on logging your work hours, but it is a con overall, because people like to just work when they work and not work when they're not working. Last is the strain when dealing with clients, customers, and even employees. There's always going to be challenges, and they're all going to be different dynamics. Prospects, if you're doing all the selling yourself, and if you're really there to help people, you're going to get down when prospects leave, when prospects ghost you. It can be very straining. I highly recommend, if you really want to focus on sales as in your business, that you commit to it and learn some habits that you can do to build that vein on how you can overcome that strain of ghosting and things of that nature. Employees, it's very similar. It's very easy for employees to come in or take for granted the fact that you're just going to pay them. That's why building brand values and building a good internal culture is key. You really want to work with bringing people in that have a like-minded personality when it comes to your brand values, and they're passionate about what they do. And you're going to have employees have life struggles as well. And to be a good leader, you need to be able to handle those and be able to handle your employees' struggles as like you would handle your own. Being able to help them, but also not being taken for granted when you're creating those policies and you're creating those systems in place. Again, those are some of the pros and cons I've seen as I've continued to build the journey in my business. Again, I'd love for you to tackle that subscribe button, give us a like, and hit that notification bell. It really helps out the channel. Now, this is Zach, where we help you build that legacy beyond the game.